Hey, I know you. Yeah, hey. Hi, I'm back. I wanted to talk with you about battle scenes again, surprise. And this is going to be kind of the sequence of events that I will frequently put in my stories. Not necessarily all of my stories, but I'll do that in many of the stories. And so I wanted to go through those sequence of events because I see a lot of stories that come to me that I put on my website that just have the character, all of a sudden he's in a battle and he's fighting and he's fighting, and then it ends. And a battle scene is like a mini story, that it has a ramp to it like stories. The tension should build, and in the middle you should think, uh-oh, is he going to be destroyed? And oh, he gets away. He figures something out, and then he gets away. And you want the reader to be tricked into thinking maybe he's not. Maybe game night's not going to survive this battle. Maybe he's going to lose. You don't want it to always be known that they're always going to win, and so you got to give it some, add a few tricks to add a few hints of losing or something to make that possible. So the first rule, so the first step is you encounter the battle scene. The character goes into the battle scene. He sees there's a battle. Uh-oh, monsters are attacking. Okay, the second one is that the hero is going to say something important about this battle and what it means to the plot. And so the reader will know this is linked to the plot. And it's not just a battle scene because we like to kill zombies. And then we also need to mention the stakes. Now, frequently the stakes for me in my stories, I'll mention that way ahead when they're on their journey and they know they got to defeat the spider warlord, or else something bad happens. I don't know what. But there needs to be stakes involved with every battle. You can't just be walking down the street and all of a sudden zombies attack you. There needs to be a reason why the zombies are attacking you, and there's a reason why you're trying really hard to stop them. So you have to have stakes. And then the next thing I will frequently, and again, I don't always do it in this order, but these are things that I like in my battle scenes. The hero has to somehow come up, oh, if a hero has to say he's afraid, that he's worried about this, the responsibility of protecting everybody is intense, or he's afraid he can't save anybody, or he's afraid he can't destroy the zombie warlord, or something like that. There's some fear there, and that's important because the reader will empathize with him and it'll make the hero seem real. If there's no fear, then the reader's going to say, yeah, this is fake, and you're going to lose their trust. So you have to make it realistic. And then somewhere in the battle, the hero has to come up with the courage to do it. And that's usually for game night. He says, for Minecraft, rawr, and he goes running after them. Um, so you got the battle starts. All of these things happen. Some of them, a lot of those things that I just mentioned happen before the battle starts. But you'll have the battle start. There's a clear start to the battle. And as I mentioned in the previous video, I always mention the sensory input for the battle. A battle's a very personal thing. If you imagine yourself with a sword fighting some zombies, it's kind of personal. Those zombies are trying to eat your face, and you don't want to have your face eaten, and so you have to try to destroy them and take their HP like Game Night would do. And so you need to tell the reader what it's like to do this, what it feels like. A lot of books will show a battle scene and you'll have the blood splashing and the sword crunching through bone and stuff. I don't write that stuff because sometimes some really young kids read my book and that's too intense and too gory. So I don't add those kind of things. But if you're writing for an older audience, you might, because it makes it seem more realistic. As the battle progresses, so the next thing is the tension in the battle. You want the tension to get higher and higher and higher as you go. And so just like with your story, you want the tension to increase. In the battle, you want the tension to increase. And you want to throw obstacles in front of your character. Maybe instead of one spider fighting him, Watcher kills that one, but then two come forward. And now he's got to fight two of them. And he's fighting those, and then a third one sneaks up behind him. Now there's three, and one of his friends comes and helps him. But you want to make the fight scene get harder and harder and harder as you go. That makes it more realistic to the reader. And somewhere in the story, you want the reader to think the hero's going to fail and they're going to lose the battle. And you want to trick them into thinking, oh, they're all pushed up against the back of the building and there's no way out and the spiders have closed off the exit and there's more spiders than people and so there's no way they can survive. And so that's in plot construction, that's the dark night of the soul, right? That's where it looks like the hero is going to fail. In a battle scene, that's the middle of the battle where you're tricking the reader into thinking they're cooked and there's no way they can survive. And it's really important. You want to have that in your battle scene. And then the next thing, the hero is going to use some trick to gain some advantage to turn the tide and make it so that they can defeat them. And in the sample chapter below, from the Into the Spider's Lair, Watcher happens to hit a pressure plate and a horse pops out of one of the dispensers. And they're at the citadel of the Horse Lords, and so that's not surprising that that happens. But he gets on the horse and he goes and rides around and destroys the spiders. And he's able to save the day because of that trick that gives him an advantage. And so that's important to have something. He can't be up against the ropes and it looks like he's going to be destroyed and then all of a sudden he fights harder. You know, he's fighting as hard as he can. He can't decide, oh, I got to fight harder to win. He's doing it all the time, so there has to be some trick or thing. And that's what differentiates one battle from the next, is what is that trick or thing going to be? And it can't be a magic sword that appears out of the air. You remember with showing things before they need them. If he's going to have a magic sword, you have to show that to the reader earlier. Maybe it's a cursed sword and he's afraid to use it, but now he has no choice and he has to use it. That would be possible, but you got to show that first. So now that we've passed the dark night of the soul in your battle, and it looks like they're no longer going to lose, but they're going to win, now all the forces rally and they fight hard and they push the enemy back and they win the battle. Yay! And then the last thing I want to show that what the stakes were now that they've won, how does that change the situation in the plot? Now we've destroyed the spiders, and now we can get all the horses we need so we can go after the spider warlord, which was the reason why Watcher and his friends were at the citadel of the Horse Lords, which is one of my favorite chapters in Into the Spider's Lair, by the way. So these are kind of the 12 steps that I use in my writing of a battle. I don't always use all 12. I don't always do them in this order. Sometimes, like the stakes might occur, these are chapters 8, 19, and 20 in Into the Spider's Lair, and you'll notice when you download the chapter, I hope you download it and read it, that I didn't start at the beginning of chapter 19. I started near the end of 18 because I describe the battle is imminent in chapter 18, and then I end on a plot question of, I don't remember, the spiders suddenly charge. I don't know. But I end on a plot question on chapter 18 so that I hopefully force the reader to turn the page and see what happens. And those plot questions are really important to cranking up the tension. So take a look at this and take a look at chapters 19 and 20. And I bet you could go through and read them, and you can look at these 12 steps and see which ones did I hit and which ones are not there. And maybe that's important to learn because sometimes I don't have them all there. I try to, but I don't always succeed. But I hope this is helpful with your battle scenes, and I hope I see more complex battle scenes that are integrated more strongly into your stories, because that's really going to help your stories pop. If your battle scenes have a purpose and your battle scenes have sort of a character arc kind of thing to them, an arc like a story does with tension building and building and hitting the dark night of the soul. Oh my gosh, we're going to lose. The hero can't do it. And then they fight harder and harder and harder, and then they win. Hope this is helpful. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.